Today I will talk about what is SSL and TLS. So if you're using internet these days, which I'm sure you are, then you must have come across this term that says SSL. I'm sure you have heard the terms like SSL certificate, and you must be wondering what exactly is this thing called SSL. So SSL is called as Secure Sockets Layer. It is basically a protocol to establish link which is encrypted between two different computers. So for example, when you are doing some web browsing and when you are fetching a request from a server, and in simple language, it means that when you open a website like google.com, or maybe when you go to YouTube, or maybe when you go to the banking website, then you are establishing a connection between your laptop and the server that you're trying to access, and that server contains the information that will be retrieved and displayed on your laptop or maybe on your mobile. So when you are trying to fetch a request, when the connection is established between your laptop and the server, the connection needs to be secure so that you have your own privacy, and no one is able to hack your data in between while the communication is happening. So SSL is nothing but a security protocol which ensures that the data which is being transmitted is encrypted. And to give you some background, SSL was first developed by a company called Netscape for transmitting private documents over internet. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with this company called Netscape. They used to work a lot in 90s, and the first version of SSL, which was SSL 1.0, was released in it was not released, it was actually developed in mid 90s, and it was never really published because it was not really secure enough. And then the second version of SSL 2.0, was released in 1995. Then they released SSL 3.0 that came out in 1999. And there is also a similar term called as TLS, and TLS is something similar to SSL, of course, and the full form of TLS is Transport Layer Security. It is nothing but a successor of SSL. So after, I believe, version 3.0 of SSL, the next protocol that they made was nothing but TLS, and it is of course the same thing when we talk about the encryption protocol for establishing secure links between two computers, for example. And it is nothing but an upgraded version of SSL 3.0. And again, just to give you some background, TLS 1.0 came out in 1999. Then in 2006, TLS 1.0 was released. In 2008, TLS 1.2 was released, and in fact this year in 2018, TLS 1.3 was released. And how do you know that the connection is secure between your laptop and the website that you're trying to visit? So when you open your banking website, I'm sure you must have seen this HTTPS in your browser address bar in the URL of the website that you're trying to visit. And when you see this lock sign, it means that the connection is secure. So I'll be making another video where I will be talking about the details of SSL, TLS, and how the communication is established between your computer and the computer that you're trying to access, which is usually the server. So why do we need SSL and TLS? Why do we need to have these secure encryption protocols? Well, first of all, whenever we are trying to do some secure communication, we need both the protocols. We are using bank websites, and you don't want anyone to hack your credit card number, or when you try to enter your username and password, you want to keep it secure. Your personal data, of course, like your address, maybe your phone number. At the same time, we are also trying to ensure privacy, because when you're working online, when your device, your laptop is connected on the internet, your personal data can be exposed, and you want to keep it personal, because sometimes you need to send your personal data to someone, maybe your photographs, your videos, and you want to ensure that the recipient of the pictures or the data that you're trying to send, only they receive it, not anyone else. And the usage of SSL TLS is, of course, web browsing, emailing, chat, when you do any calls online. So there are a lot of usages, and in fact these days, almost everything that you do, you need to have some secure communication between your laptop and the recipient. So in the next video, I'll be talking about in details of both the protocols. So we'll be focusing on various encryption techniques like symmetric encryption, and we'll discuss how it is different from asymmetric encryption. We'll be discussing RSA algorithm, the encryption process itself, and there are a few things like a public key, private key, which I'm sure you must have heard before when you are trying to understand what is encryption. We'll be talking about some terms like root CA, intermediate CA, and most importantly, the SSL certificate, because these things are important when you are trying to, let us say, build your own application and you want that application to communicate with other parties securely. So in the next video, we will also be discussing the applications of these secure protocols, and I'm sure you are familiar with SSH, which is nothing but secure shell. And finally, we'll briefly talk about Bitcoin, which is also very interesting and hot topic these days. So I hope this video was useful, and watch out for my part 2 of SSL and TLS. Thank you very much.